Alright fellas, so we're going to come again with another gameplay today. Today we are going to be taking a look at a game that I played against the Chargers, and I managed to get a considerable amount of snaps using some different formations and using some things that are a little bit more relevant to what it is we're going to be doing. So if you take a look at the screen, you'll see I posted information pertaining to the 12 personnel usage. Dallas, 33% of their snaps are in 12 personnel, which is good for 4th in the league, and that's across all snaps. So when you break it down, if you look at first downs now, we move up to nearly 50%, which is good for 3rd in the league. So this starts to give you an idea of what Dallas' play call tendency is, right? Because as we move along, 2nd down was still top 10, which is what 7th overall at 33%. But if you take a look, interestingly enough now, when we get to 3rd down, Dallas aren't using 12 personnel much at all. We are now saying, hey, let's go ahead, let's put out 11 personnel. So if you take a look at this chart, I'm going to draw your attention to where it says first down and long, or 8 to 10 in brackets, because we're really looking at what are Dallas' tendencies on 1st and 10. So on a regular 1st and 10 out of 482 plays, Dallas are passing the ball 55% of the time and running 45% of the time. So that is great because we're coming to the line of scrimmage 1st and 10, and as a defense you can't say they're definitely running, they're definitely passing. It's almost 50-50. And see, now the most frequent play is a run to Ezekiel Elliott, which makes sense because of course if we're identifying players or individual players, now those 55% of passes are being spread out amongst many players, whereas as far as running the ball on 1st and 10, you're looking at Zeke, you're looking at Tony, and a lot of times it is Zeke because he is our #1 back. So now if you take a look at our 2nd down play calling, you'll see the medium range and the long range are where we seem to spend most of our time in 2nd downs. So we tend to be picking up anywhere from 0 to 6 yards or so more often than not. We do have 66 2nd and shorts. So our most frequent play in those instances, you'll see now we're tending more towards 65 to 70% passes and 30 to 35% runs. And still the most frequent play is going to be Ezekiel Elliott, but let's not get confused because again, remember, there are going to be a good deal of passes in there, as you can tell by the 65 to 70% pass rate, but Zeke will see more individual balls than any one of those receivers. If you take a look, you'll see the most successful pass play in those instances now. Passes to Amari Cooper in 2nd and medium, passes to Dalton Schultz for 2nd and long. What does that mean for 3rd down? On 3rd downs now, we have 48 3rd and longs, 77 3rd and mediums, and 69 3rd and shorts. This is where you want to be as an offense. You want to be in these 3rd down and manageable distances. So if Dallas can do this on a regular basis, it really makes it so that you can come to the line of scrimmage 1st down, 2nd down, 3rd down, because you're staying ahead of the chain. Your playbook is open. It can be a pass, it can be a run. You're not forced into 3rd and 8s, 3rd and 9s, 3rd and 11s and 12s. Now you're forced into passes. So this is a great way to make sure that your offense is able to stay balanced. Now again, we take a look at the most frequent plays. Now when we're looking at 3rd and medium, we're getting the ball out to CeeDee Lamb a lot. We're looking at 3rd and long, it was Michael Gallup. So what I found interesting was that these 3rd and long, 3rd and medium plays, we're not seeing a whole lot of Amari Cooper. If you look at 3rd and short, of course, we're coming back to the run, giving the ball to Zeke. You need 1 yard, 2 yards, 3 yards. More often than not, Zeke's the man to do it. And now this chart will go on and further break down what it is we're doing. You'll see that overall, Dak throws most of his passes between 0 to 15 yards. He's not throwing the ball deep a whole lot, and he doesn't have to. And you'll also see he's throwing to the sidelines a lot. So you'll see in the gameplay where I'm throwing flats, I'm throwing table routes, I'm throwing smoke screens, all those sorts of things, that Dallas is doing. Even when Dak was running PA boot and you got people crossing the field, by the time they're getting over to the opposite side of the field, this is where Dak tends to be hitting them, or he's hitting the tight end leaking up from the line of scrimmage. So a lot of those 1st down and even 2nd down passes are going right in that area. And then on 3rd down, we're still looking in those same spots. So you get some passes in the middle of the field, but if you take a look at this chart, it clearly shows that most of the passes coming out of the Dallas offense are short to medium and on the outsides of the field. So again, with this chart, with the information we just went over concerning play calling tendency, and then also what our formations or what our personnel are in the first down situation, second down, and third down, we're now able to really start building out what this offense should look like in order to better replicate what it is the Cowboys are doing in real life. So in this video now, you'll see again a lot of my play calling in terms of where I'm passing the ball does show that a lot of my personnel usage, because I actually was in 12 personnel, probably 50% if I recall correctly, this game of my snaps. So it's more than the Cowboys actually use, but it does replicate what it is they're doing. However, what I need to do now is make sure I'm using the wing formations more, because even though I used a lot of 12 personnel, it was mostly in open flats. So you're going to see me next gameplay and the next few videos starting to incorporate those wing formations a little bit more. This video, there's a nice treat, because there was a money drive at one point in the video that incorporated a lot of those two empty quads formations, and I did sprinkle those throughout the whole gameplay. So sit back and enjoy. Alright, so we're coming out in gun open flags. You may or may not have noticed that my opponent actually took the delayed game penalty, so we're going to make sure we give it to him for that. So again, remember, first down, we're 50-50, or 55-45, we're actually passing a little bit more than we're running, and we actually go ahead and we throw the ball short to the outside, which is something, again, you look at our numbers, that is what we're doing on first down if we're throwing the ball. So we go ahead, we pick up 6 yards, and now we're going to jump into gun doubles, and we scan the field. So what we see is that our opponent is using a lot of base defense. So again, another short to intermediate pass to the sidelines, and we're gonna focus on making sure we're hitting those passes in those areas, because we know that is what the Dallas Cowboys offense is doing. But like I said, you can see the box is loaded up a good bit. Our opponent is most certainly making sure he's prepared for the run. So as long as he's doing that, he's actually making it easier for us to hit these passes to the sidelines. We got no problem throwing the ball to the boundary, because again, look at our play call tendency. We're not in a position where we're forced to run or pass in any situation. Playbook is open to us. We did a good job making sure we were in a third and manageable situation. So he loaded up the box, expecting the run. We got no problem giving ourselves the option, because we did call an RPO, but it made more sense to throw the smoke screen to the receiver. We got that out, and we got the first down. Now this time we're going to come out in our 12 personnel, and we're going to motion over the gun wing flats. Again, I will be using more of the gun wing and even single back wing formations. So he blew up this run in the backfield. We lost 3 yards on that. He had a pretty decent user in terms of shooting the gap. I think he might have blown up my run a couple times, but it didn't stop us from running it, of course. But it did now mean, hey, we are going to aggressively take what they gave us. So we threw the ball more in this game than we did in the gameplay that I shared with you guys over the weekend. And that's just adjusting to what our opponent's doing and taking what they're giving us, which is what our theme is. This is who we are as an offense. So we have to stay true to that. You see, now he's come out of his base and he's in more of a nickel look, because it's second and long, so he's expecting a pass. And again, we're not forced to throw the ball downfield. We'll take a short pass and we'll try to pick up some yards after and see how manageable our third down is. And we're looking at 3rd and 9. He's aligning his guys. Now the box is still light, so I'm not opposed to running it here. Even on 3rd and 9, every now and again you can catch your opponent off guard, especially if you're in a situation where you're not afraid to go for 4th down. And that's something we see every team in the league doing more and more of. These 4th and 1s, 4th and 2s, you're in opponent territory. You're not afraid to go ahead and attempt to pick it up. So we go ahead and we do that. It's all that analytics. And those cover 4 show tools, that's safe defense. It's very easy to complete passes underneath that, of course. So here you go. We're in our doubles wide close. And we're going to go right ahead and put in our heavy personnel from jump. Let's put McKeon in there. So now I'm pretty sure he goes back to his base defense. Absolutely. And we're going to do another short, quick pass. Followed on an out route. Pick up 8 yards. 7 yards. So we're not making things any more difficult on ourselves than we need to. Go ahead, pick up our first down, keep the chains moving. So we're seeing he's using a lot of 4-6, and we know 4-6 is a good defense. 4-6, if used correctly, can be one of the better defenses in the game. And again, he's not bad on defense. He's absolutely sufficient on defense. So here we go. We're going to go with empty quads. Now he's going to stay in this base defense. So as long as we can avoid being sacked, we should be able to get an easy pass completion, which we do over the middle to Amari Cooper. And so far you can see we're 7 for 7, 58 yards, and they've been all easy completions. So this is another thing you'll see. Dallas does a good job with these short passes. They start to get Dak in a bit of a rhythm, and he really starts firing on all cylinders. But we're going to stick with that game plan. We're coming back out in doubles. And we actually get user sacked. See, so this guy's pretty good. He sees the 5 out, he goes ahead and takes advantage of it. But now I'm saying, okay, wait a minute. What were we beating him with? He's stacking the box. We were beating him with these throws to the outside. So we're going to go ahead. We're going to throw our smoke screen to CeeDee Lamb. Amari Cooper's going to get a good block, and we're going to get an easy touchdown. So if we continue to try to force that, it would have made it a little bit more difficult on ourselves. Instead, we stopped. We made a pre-snap read. We realized what it was our opponent was trying to do, and we took that away from it. Now, our second possession of the game, we actually missed our extra point. But our second possession of the game, we're going to go ahead and we're going to come out in slot offset. We're going to watch to see if it's single high or a double high safety, because if it's double high, we have a good chance at a quick strike. It's single high, so we're going to wait for CD to cross the defense. It's actually a cover 1, and we've got to catch and run. Again, you see the theme. We're not throwing the ball deep unless we need to, or unless it's there. We're not forcing anything. We're absolutely looking at what it is our opponent is giving us, and we're taking it. So we're back in doubles. We have our 12 personnel on the field, and we're going to go ahead and put CeeDee Lamb on an out route. Put Amari Cooper on a streak. And we're going to hit Lamb. Oh, actually, Lamb wasn't there. So we hit Jarwin underneath. End up being no gain. But had we tried to throw it or force it to CeeDee Lamb, it could very well have been an interception. So we got to make the smart decisions. Better to be 2nd and 10 than to be on defense. We're back in open flags, still in 12 personnel. Like I said, you'll see we're in 12 personnel, probably 50% of this game. I will actually post the stats, so I'm going to keep saying 50%, and we'll see if it is. I went through the game film last night, but I don't remember what the numbers were with much confidence. I feel like it was 50%. But let's go ahead. 3rd and 2. Again, these 3rd and manageables. And as long as he is giving us these out routes, we're going to go ahead and take them. You see they actually drifted out underneath CD, so we were able to hit Blake Jarwin. He is starting to adjust to our out route. That was the second one that we didn't like. We go ahead. Again, he's stacking the box. We throw a halfback toss. Well-timed play call. And we managed to get in for a touchdown. Now we're ahead 12-7. We actually got an interception here. That's my user, Malik Hooker. He figured he would try to lob it over my head, and he didn't have much success with that. We'll see if we can take advantage of this great field position and the extra possession. Now again, I'm trying to take advantage of the stack box by throwing something quick to the flat, and you can see the defense was well prepared to adjust to that, so we have to be a little bit more careful. We come out and gun doubles offset. Again, now we are back in our 11 personnel. So we are going to actually audible over into a trips look. So Mario will move to the opposite side of the field. We're going to hand the ball off to Zeke, and a minimal gain of 2 yards. So we're looking at 3rd and 8, which is a predicament the Cowboys do find themselves in a little bit. But because of the weapons we have and the options that we have, 3rd and 8 doesn't scare us. We just take our time and see if we can make good reads, and we do. We make a good pre-snap read. Go ahead, we take the easy first down. Now we're in a position where we really should be thinking about just don't turn the ball over, right? You saw that the last game I had a bad turnover before the half. It was in my mind here, and I still went ahead and, believe it or not, after this completion, which was a smart move. You pick up 4 yards, you keep it moving, because at the end of the day, we kick a field goal, we get the ball in the second half, and we're in a position of power. But instead, we're getting greedy. We go ahead and call 5 out here. We absolutely shouldn't have called 5 out because we know he's been trying to take advantage of that, and we go ahead and get ourselves sacked. So being cocky, we come back and say, you know what? We'll call the same play. We'll max protect. Our deep dig is going to bail us out. And because pre-snap, this is what my thinking was. I went ahead and zeroed in on it and drew it when it wasn't there. And I absolutely gave up a pick 6 at the end of the first half, just like I did the game before. So I am a little bit aggravated with myself, but I know that the way that this game is gone, I know I'm better than my opponent. I just got to settle down, get out of my head, and play. He attempted a little showboat there, so I keep that in mind because it gives me a little bit of motivation if I need any at all. So we're going to come out, we got 16 seconds left. We're going to hit him with the empty and see if he makes a mistake. And he actually does a decent job in cover. We maybe could have tried to force that to Coop, but I do think the deep safety would have had a beat on it. So we'll go ahead and we use our legs to pick up some yards, use our last touchdown. Now we're looking at 8 seconds to go. More often than not, we'll actually call a run play here, but I am having fun with quads, so I figure I will give it one more shot. He's in 3 deep, everybody's being carried. We'll go ahead and let Dak get a little more exercise. To be honest, we should have slid it or just went out of bounds and got to the second half because this could have been a fumble and he could have returned it. So that was a risk that wasn't worth taking. So we're now down 15-12, starting the second half. And we know that this deficit is a result of our actions. So we need to settle down and play this game right. So we're going to go ahead. We're going to put Coop on that apprentice post. We're going to streak Zeke. I accidentally dragged Zeke. And we're going to drag CD. And now if it's there, and absolutely you see this, it looks like a cover 0 look. And we're going to get Coop over the top very easy. So this is it. So you see we tried that exact same setup in the first half and it wasn't there. So we hit our drag, we played it safe. Well, actually, I'm sorry, it wasn't the exact same setup. We set up the apprentice post. It was out of slot offset in the first half, if I recall correctly. Anyway, here we go. On our 6-yard line, we managed to force a punt. So we set up in our empty set and we hit our tight end underneath for a 10-yard gain. But yeah, like I was saying, so this time we set up the apprentice post. We look at the safeties, they give us what we want. We take the deep shot. The first half, the safeties didn't give us what we want. We took the underneath read. So this is what it's about. Now here we go. We're going back to our screens and we're attacking those sidelines again because he's giving it to us. So we're going to force him to adjust his defense or we'll continue to take advantage of what he's doing. We're in doubles offset week and we are going to set up our 12 personnel. So we're going to put Blake Jarwin out there on the edge. And we're going to go with CD and Amari. So we're going to stay in slants because we know when you're in that heavy personnel, you have linebackers that have to get out here on our DBs. However, his linebacker did do a good job getting caught up to Zeke and tackling him for a 2-yard gain. So that was a modest gain considering what it could have been. But we do see he's playing aggressive. We know he's using the deep safety. So we're going to go ahead and try him with this halfback angle route because we know that has to be used. So if he doesn't use it, we know we've got everybody down below beat. We know the deep safety is not there. We put one move on him and we are in the end zone. Now we're firmly in control of this game. So he came back and scored quickly, but we still have a 5-point lead. This is a position where the type of offense that the Cowboys had, you're typically very comfortable saying, hey, we just got to make some completions, we got to move the ball, we got to run the ball. Very easy to run off 4 minutes in this game of Madden. Well, again, he's starting to adjust to our underneath route, so we threw that to the tight end, and we shouldn't have got away with it because we were able to click on and at least knock the ball away from the defender. But now here we tried to go over his DB's head, and it was absolutely the wrong call. So now we go ahead and actually find ourselves with a 3-yard deficit again. But guess what? This sets up the money drive that I was talking about. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to get into our empty quads and our bunch quads. We're going to roll. So let's see. We're at our 25-yard line, starting with bunch quads. And this is absolutely clutch time. So we put Schultz on a drag. We're going to put CeeDee Lamb on that curl like you've seen me do a few times. And this time we actually put Amari on an out route. It's not there. So we hit Zeke underneath on that drag. And we go ahead and we keep the chains moving. 2nd and 2. We're not interested in that because we're actually getting downfield. I'm not even worrying about running the clock right now. I want to push this offense and see what I can do with this quads because I know it puts guys in a tough place. So we put Amari on this apprentice post and we see that it's bagged, but we love this late read. You saw that in the last game. To our tight end, and we'll go ahead and hit that right at the 2-minute warning. And now we are already at about midfield. We're coming right back out in the exact same play, except this time we have Amari on the opposite side of the field, but we like the out route to CeeDee Lamb anyway. So we go ahead and we keep it moving. We are applying tons of pressure with these empty formations right now. So now I'm going to go ahead and call curl pivot dig. I've never called it in game, but I absolutely love it. You're essentially looking at flats, right? See, so you got a drag and you got a whip and then you got curls. So we know how to make that read. He called a cover for show 2 and the curl was there. We're at his 22-yard line with no time wasted. Those empty quad formation, bunch quad formation are how to guard. So now here we are in open flats. We're going to go ahead and throw our screen. He knew that we were smoking him with the screen, and he almost had a beat on that ball. Okay, he's adjusting to what we're doing. We'll adjust to what he's doing. He's stacking the box. We know his DBs are playing down on one of those outside receivers. So who is guarding Blake Jarwin? This time we'll allow Jarwin to go straight up the seam and loft the pass into the end zone for the game-winning touchdown. We got an interception after this. It was a click on with Keanu Neal. Absolutely perfect way to end the game. This was a great game. I absolutely enjoyed it. Props to my opponent. He came out, he bowled out, he made it interesting, and he didn't crit. So we were actually able to go ahead and see our stats at the end of the game, which I'll post. But first we gotta go ahead and run this clock. So we go ahead, we run a toss, got ourselves sacked. Tackled for a loss. We know he has to use that timeout at some point, so that's our main thing. We're gonna go ahead and put him true clock because we're absolutely not gonna give him any more possessions than he needs. So if he's gonna get the rock back, he's gonna have to use his timeouts, and he's gonna have to stop us. So 8 seconds to go, 7 seconds on the clock. Go ahead, you give it to Tony, you take another run. Now I think he's in a position where he either has to call a timeout or just give up on the game. He decides to call a timeout because, hey, you never know. But he has no timeouts left, so we figured it makes sense to just take the quarterback kneel. Don't even give him a chance to get a fumble or anything crazy. Let's end this game. Let's get back on the bus and get home. Good game, coach. Alright, so now we're going to go ahead and look at our stats, and we can see that again we have good stat lines. Our receivers, you see Dak was 23 for 27, 4 touchdowns. Coop had a night. We'll finish this game. As always, guys, thank you for your support. Get into the lab, give them a little bit of help, tell them I sent you.